here before, I am Jill Baird, and today is day 3 of the first week of my Fit in 15 4-week series. So the third day is our yoga sculpt focused workout. We will be incorporating some sculpting yoga moves as well as a few stretching traditional yoga poses that will help to open up our hips and probably give our low back a little bit of love. So runner friends, lifter friends, swimmer friends, hiking friends, CrossFit friends, burpee friends, this is a perfect workout for you. We're going to have a little bit of focus on glute activation, and the rest is on deep core activation. We're going to work for 54 seconds. I know it's kind of a random length of time. We'll hear a gentle bell, and then we'll transition into our next exercise or posture. So it's not traditional yoga in the sense that it's not a flow, but we are definitely incorporating elements of some yoga poses into this sculpting workout. All right, you will need a mat and some space around you, but other than that, you don't need any equipment. If you enjoy music during your workouts, go ahead and get that music going right now. I do not play music in these videos because I want you to be able to listen to what inspires you during your workout. I am going to hit start on this timer, and that's going to give me 5 seconds to come back to the mat to get on my back. But while I'm doing that, you make your way comfortably down onto your back. Our first move is going to be a glute bridge. So you're going to bend your knees, bring your heels in towards your bum, lengthen your fingertips towards your heels, and with an exhale breath, we're going to lift our hips up towards the ceiling. Now I want you to bring the attention to the soles of your feet. Continue bridging, and I want you to think about pulling the mat apart with your feet. So think about ripping the mat between your feet apart. And then I also simultaneously want you to think about hugging a ball between your inner thighs. So even though we're pressing out, we're also hugging in. Then think about pulling your heels towards your bum and your bum back towards your heels. So this should really turn on your glute muscles that far too often get turned off because of the lifestyles we lead, right? Sitting, driving, they just turn off. Okay, we're going to do a single side glute bridge. So at the bell, bridge the hips up, draw the left knee in, and bring the palms to the front of the left knee. With an inhale breath, slowly lower the back of the hips to the mat, and as you exhale, press into the right heel, the bottom of the right foot, and squeeze the right glute. So we're probably not going to get in a ton of reps here. Exhale to lift. I don't want us to. Inhale to lower. I want us to feel the right glute and the right hamstring turn on here, and we're giving this left hip flexor a little break. So I'm not pressing into the back of my head here. The back of my neck is lengthened, and I'm pressing between my shoulder blades. And I'm controlling the lowering, and I'm controlling the lifting. Okay, readjust. Bring both heels back in towards the glute. Exhale, breath, lift both heels. Pull the right knee in. Fire up. Feel that firing up in the left hamstring and the left glute, because we're imagining isometrically pulling that left heel back towards the bun and the bun towards the heel. So the entire back of the hips comes down to the mat. And then exhale to lift. Inhale, fill up as you lower with control. Exhale powerfully with control to do the work. All right, now we're going to come into some more traditional core. So I want you to bring your palms up and we're gonna come into a dead bug. So left arm, left heel, extend, and then come back together with an exhale. So you can press your right elbow, right forearm into your right knee and right thigh. Well, hello, Fiona. This is Fiona, for those of you who haven't met her before. Inhaling as you lengthen and exhaling, using that exhale breath and the natural contraction of the core that happens to work deep into not only the entire core, but especially that left oblique. And if it feels good to lift your head, neck, and shoulders a little bit, you can lift your head, neck, and shoulders. Okay, opposite side. So either palm and knee connection on the left side, or just a space between the palm and the leg on the left. And then it's the right leg that's extending and the right arm that's extending. And again, if it feels good to you to bring your head, neck, and shoulders off the mat, you can do that. It definitely works a little bit deeper into the core. For me, it kind of bothers the back of my neck. So I am going to bring my head back onto the mat. My workout, my body, I'm going to decide what is right for me in this moment. And never forget that the power in any workout is yours, right? It's kind of a lot of power. You've got to decide, well, what's right for me today? Do I really need to push a little bit harder? Do I not? Okay, we're going to come into a figure 4 stretch on the left. So I want you to cross your left ankle at the front of your right knee. Keep the back of your head on the mat. Imagine that left knee peeling open. So this is a stretch for our low back and our hips. On an exhale breath, use your core to draw the right knee in towards your chest. And with your backs of your shoulders and your head still on the mat, cradle the back of your right leg with your hands interlaced. And as you pull that right knee in, I want you to continue to think about pressing that left knee open. So you should feel a really nice stretch in the outer left hip, left glute piriformis area. Tends to tighten up a lot. And this is just a really nice way to stretch it. So you can do this anytime sitting in a chair by just crossing that ankle over the thigh. Okay, bring the feet back to the mat, do a little side to side, and then cross the right ankle in front of the left knee. Flex the right toes back towards the right knee and press that right knee open. On an exhale breath, keep your head, neck, and shoulders on the mat. Lift the left knee in towards your chest and then cradle the back of the left leg with your interlaced palms. So if you're having trouble keeping the back of your neck on the mat here, you could always grab a yoga block or a pillow to put underneath your head. But we want that contact. We want the head to stay on the mat. Otherwise, we're wrenching our neck. And then taking slow inhales and exhales here. And if you can, imagine that you're guiding that breath into that outer right hip. Okay, we're gonna cross our ankles, we're gonna rock and roll up into a tabletop, and we're gonna come into a bird dog. Extend your right arm and your left leg. Take an inhale, exhale right elbow to left knee. Inhale, and then exhale to contract. And if you find that you're having trouble wobbling side to side or losing your balance, squeeze that left glute and press through the left heel. The stronger we are in the back of that left leg, the more power and control we create in our core and in the rest of our body to not rock side to side. So inhaling to lengthen, exhale to draw it in. So again, really deep core here. We're going to do the other side. So it's our right leg and our left arm. The thumb faces up like you're going to shake someone's hand. And then press through that heel, right heel, squeeze the right glute. And then draw the knee in towards the chest. So this is a very simple, small movement with a lot of power. So if you think about running, you're drawing one knee up and the opposite arm, right? It's that cross body movement. All right, we're gonna come into some cat-cows here just to give our low back a little love. So on an inhale breath, lift your tailbone, lift your gaze, and open your collarbones, so spread through your collarbones. And on an exhale, press the mat away as you tuck around and curl into that cat, like a Halloween scary cat. Tailbone lifts, gaze lifts, shoulder blades draw down the back, cow pose. And then exhale, cat pose. Maybe you even press your shins into the mat here to help pull your belly button back towards your spine even more. And this spinal articulation is so good for keeping our back healthy. And again, anytime when you've been sitting for a while and if your low back starts to feel tight, this is a perfect go-to move for just releasing some of that tension. Okay, we're gonna come into a downward facing dog. So pressing your palms into the mat, lifting the hips up and back. Ground your left foot, lift your right, and on an exhale breath, come into a plank, draw your right knee to your nose. This is called tiger pose. Inhale, the right leg lengthens behind you. Exhale, tuck, round, and curl into center. So it's like that bird dog pose that we were doing, only both palms are flat on the mat, and now our knee is off of the mat. And I want you to think about lifting with power with the back of that right leg. So we're getting some upper body work in here, some lower body work, and definitely a whole lot of core. And then imagine that you're pressing that mat forward and away from you. Okay, we're gonna step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. This is called lizard pose. And now we're gonna come into what's called the world's greatest stretch, or a simple twist. So my left arm is gonna stay on the mat, and I'm gonna reach my right fingertips up towards the ceiling, thoracic spine rotation. I'm gonna bring the hand back to the mat, and with an exhale breath, I'm gonna peel it open. You can even use that right thumb to gently guide that right shoulder open, pull the hand back, and then slowly bring the palm back to the inside of the right foot. Moving slowly, not fast here. I want you to think about pulling that right hip down and back, and the left hip up and forward. So the left arm is doing some work. Okay, you can come down to your knees for a second if you need a break. And at the bell, we're gonna come back into a downward facing dog. Hips up and back. Ground the right foot, lift the left leg. Fire up the back of the left leg. Exhale, tiger pose, knee to nose. Inhale, press the mat forward and away. Find length in the upper body. Lift the left heel. And exhale, shift forward into that three-legged plank. Draw the knee into the nose. Inhale, lift, chest draws back towards that right thigh. Exhale, chest draws forward as the knee draws up in towards the chest and to the nose or forehead. Keep those left toes flexed back towards the knee, just like we did in that bird dog. So a lot of strength here, a lot of stretching. All right, we're gonna step that left foot to the outside of the left hand, coming into that lizard. Left hip down and back, right hip up and forward. Peel open, simple twist, or world's greatest stretch, and then bring the palm back to the mat. Again, use that left thumb to peel the left shoulder open, and then reach the left fingertips up towards the ceiling and back towards the wall behind you. Think about looping that right shoulder down and back into its socket. So at the top of this move, when the left fingertips reach up, the shoulder blades are snuggled down in towards one another. And we're getting a lot of rotation here in our thoracic spine. So this part of our spine that runs behind our belly button. So I'm not twisting from my low back. The twist is coming from the belly button. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and come down into our final pose, which is a child's pose. So bring those knees out wide, big toes to touch. Cradle your buns back onto your heels and then lengthen forward. And if you find it's too much to have your torso resting between your thighs, you can bring your inner knees, inner thighs in towards one another, and you can even bring your hands back behind you. And just take a few deep breaths here. Slow, steady inhales, and then some powerful exhales. And continue to breathe. And if you'd like to stay in your child's pose for a little bit longer, by all means, please stay in your child's pose for as long as you'd like. Otherwise, just begin to peel your forehead off the mat, walk your fingertips back towards your knees. You can shift your ankles to one side and then come into a seat. If you are interested in doing some more yoga, maybe you're a beginner, you've never done yoga before, and this kind of piqued your curiosity, I have an entire playlist of beginner yoga classes that I will link in the description below, and also up here, I believe, on this side, that you can click on the card. If you have more experience with yoga, I have an entire library of power yoga flow classes, and I also have some dedicated sculpt classes that incorporate yoga, HIIT, and strength. So a lot to explore there. Thank you very much for joining me for this 15-minute yoga sculpt core focused class. Next week, we have a body weight, upper body strength and core class, another HIIT cardio class, and another 15-minute yoga sculpt class. I will see you back here on Monday, friends. Have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe. Look for the good in the world and take good care of yourself.